And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Greg, who's filling in for the vacationing Odie.
That's right. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning.
Is it any truth that Odie went to one of those 80s get-togethers, one of those 80s parties today of the I have my eyes odd and I want to sit with everybody else?
You know how rumors are.
Yeah, they are. Who's dressing Odie these days? You saw the picture yesterday, did you?
I think GQ.
Well, there he is there with that matching outfit with the dog.
Are y'all in Key West? We'll let that go.
Odie being GQ. Odie actually had to be off to do some stuff with his mom this morning, so we hope everything goes well. But you can't get by us. We got to pick on you a little bit.
Safe travels. Y'all be safe.
Absolutely there. So another rainy night as we slept. Did it wake you up?
No, didn't even know it rained.
You're kidding me, Greg.
No, I didn't even know it.
It was rough last night.
Really?
To our west, as it come into Scott County, Smith County, those areas, thunderstorm warnings, Neshoba County got one. It was never bad enough to go live, but we did have some rock in the windows to our west. Kind of fizzed down as it got closer to Meridian and about a little into Newton County. It kind of whoop. So that's what went on last night. So I mentioned a moment ago about the number 2 drink in America being replaced. For years and years and years, Coca-Cola is a real thing. It's been the number 1 soft drink, followed by Pepsi. And as we all remember, you were a kid like me, about the same age of the Pepsi Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
I remember going into Food Center with the cows. And
have the little hidden cup. Yeah. Then Coke tried to improve it. They were going to come. The biggest blunder in history. We're going to have the new improved. And
it was awful.
That was horrible.
It was, and I guess they replaced the CEO of the company at that point when they realized you really don't know what you're doing.
But they honestly came back bigger, better, and stronger when they come out with, a lot of people accused them of doing it on purpose.
It's kind of like
a marketing ploy or something.
It's kind of like if Percy were to rerun for mayor, he would probably win in a landslide. I mean, after the last 3 years, it's going to be big.
Yeah, you hear them crickets?
Dr. Pepper is the number 2 drink now in America. It has overcome. And what I don't understand, it's kind of like a solo thing. In some towns, Pepsi owns it. In other towns, Coca-Cola owns it. So
really?
I guess it's one of those things that was independently made and then you buy it.
I don't know. I always thought Pepsi owned the rights to Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew.
I really dig into it. At one time it was. I've seen Coca-Cola trucks delivered. I've seen Pepsi delivered in certain towns.
Well, now, honestly, I believe, and I'm not a connoisseur of soft drinks, but I believe in our area, Mountain Dew probably ranks right there with number 2, or it could be number. I mean, I see more people buy Mountain Dew and Diet Mountain Dew than I do anything else.
It's strong. It is. But as you know, if I can't get if the sweet tea is horrible, and I ain't scared to tell somebody there's sweet tea because we are connoisseurs of lunch.
That's right.
And when we go, if the sweet tea's bad, I ain't gonna drink it. I'm not gonna sit there and suffer for 30 minutes with somebody that it has to be sweet. Right. We can't be halfway
but
doing
not
it.
Syrup.
Correct. It's a certain way. Yeah. So I switch to a Dr. Pepper or Coca-Cola when that happens there.
No, I agree. I like Diet Coke.
Let's see. Pepsi and Dr. Pepper are different companies, Nitra says. Dr. Pepper contracts with bottling companies to distribute their product. Now, that's probably it right there. But it's a distinctive taste in between. I read the history of Dr. Pepper not long ago of the guy that invented it, and he was a doctor, and a pretty neat little story there of how he came about. But you don't remember the 10, 2, and 4?
No, wasn't it a medicine or something they tried to make Dr. Pepper into?
That's possible, if I remember.
I think that's
Dr.
right.
Pepper slogan. Let me see if I can pull this up.
He's Googling.
Let's get an image here. Let's go back for that. It's got to be out here somewhere.
I just don't remember that. I'm sorry.
Let's see here. 10. Let me put it up here. 10, 10, 2, and 4. There it is right there. There's the, as we pull it up right there. Drink it at 10, 2, and 4 was the, you had to have 3 a day to get by.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've played Dr. Pepper, playing poker. And 10, 2s, and 4s is wild, but,
That's why, I guess.
Okay. The rest of the story there, Paul.
Learn a little bit more every day, don't we? Sad news. We brought this up. Remember the rodeo star that his 3-year-old boy drove the little tractor?
Off into the creek or something? Yeah.
Officially, he has passed away as they took the life support off. And
Sad.
there was that ray of hope there for a few hours that he might make it, and he didn't. And the family, I think, are going to donate his organs to help other little kids that are. Boy, we feel for that family right now.
Sad.
It's scary. Well, Biden had a backlash.
Really?
Can you imagine that?
Other than the last, never mind.
The last 4 years.
4 years. I mean,
Well, it turns out, I didn't know this. Trump has not had a TikTok account. Apparently, he has so in the last couple of days. It is humongous, of millions of people joining the following of it. Biden already had an account, and he commits to jumping on Trump, and they were met with, I can't afford my rent. My rent is too expensive. I can't afford groceries. And he's been eaten alive by this. And people truly, it doesn't matter your race, which way you vote, prices are higher under this administration. We all know that.
yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see what becomes of this when we make it all the way into November to see what happens. We know that donation, since the trial has shot through the roof for Trump, will it go to the polls? That's the question. Independents will most likely be the determining factor in this race.
Or dead people.
Yep, that could happen too there.
Depends on how many of them vote.
Dr. Phil is speaking out this morning. He says they need to dismiss this bogus charge against Trump. If you'll notice, there were no cameras in the courtroom, and there was a lot of things that weren't admissible in court, and we'll see where it goes. But Dr. Phil is on his side, apparently. This is where it gets bad in America, the working man. And y'all know what I'm talking about this. That working guy that barely getting by. And you always hear somebody in the suit making a lot more. On average, look at these numbers, Greg. On average, the CEO makes 200 times more than the average worker in the company. Now, if you were to pass a little bit of that on to the common worker there, you'd probably have better employees and
you wonder why they don't want to come in early and stay late.
yeah. You shouldn't. That's why products are too high. They're giving all of these raises.
And bonuses, quarterly bonuses, yearly bonuses, yeah.
The working man in the company doesn't get it, and the expense for that CEO to make that money is passed on to you, the consumer. Where does all of this stop? I don't know.
Well, it seemed like years ago the working man had the gumption, or had the, I can make it, or this is what I really want, and now he's just trying to survive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Years ago, I would like a better house, a better vehicle, some college money for my kids. And now he's just trying to make it to the end of the month.
Yeah, does my car run? Do I have enough gas?
Exactly.
And can we have a little bit of a hamburger? It's not even asking for a steak anymore.
No.
It's can we cook hamburgers this weekend?
Right. Will those tires make it till payday?
Yeah. It's kind of scary there. So that's where we're at on that. Let's see here. There was another big thing that I want to bring up. I'll find that in a moment there. In a minute, we're going to have Ed coming in. He's getting ready to go off on, is it over 2,000 miles riding a bicycle across America, raising money for Hope Village. 3,000 miles? It's 3,000. He's going to tell. Can you imagine sitting on that little, I wish we had the bike in here to show that little seat. I think he's going to visit a doctor.
You ought to pedal along with him and document all this.
I don't know if I could fit in a minivan.
I do. He could get him a GoPro and he could be live on it ain't but 3,000 miles.
Have you ridden 3,000 miles in a car?
Yeah, probably.
Let me be honest about this. You know why I don't like to travel? I'm going to blame my mama on this. I'm just going to go ahead and call it the way it is. 1977. Do you remember what a Datsun looked like?
Oh, yeah. Very small.
Okay, they went and bought a two-door Datsun. They're about yay big.
B210.
That's what she bought,
Yeah.
a Datsun B210. We get in that car, and we go west. They went west for 3,000 miles. And at no point, Greg, did we stop and go, hey, let's stay in this town in Arizona for a few days and enjoy it. Nope, it's jump out, take a picture in front of the state signs. Click, back in the car we go. 3,000 miles west, 3,000 miles back home. I have never wanted to go on vacation again in my life. I can't stand it.
Probably burnt $20 worth of gas.
That's about what it got. 50. It was called the Nifty 50, if you remember that little car. And it got about 48, 49 miles a gallon. And you sit in the back seat with your sister for 6,000 miles and see how that goes. It was awful.
Family bonding time.
I never quite understood that with my parents. They just wanted to ride and say that they'd been to the state. I could care less about that state sign. We never went to an area and, hung out.
It wasn't a destination.
No. And I blame my mom. And I tell her that all the time. It's your fault. I don't like to do this. But and I'm going to use the word, my proper English, it runt me. If I can't get there within 2 hours, we ain't going.
That's why you own large vehicles now, too, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You got to have a caddy to put a body in the trunk at any given time. You never know.
You can stretch out.
Always buy the old stuff. They're a lot more fun.
That's right.
All right, we're going to talk to Ed next as Greg is in with us this morning. Lots of stuff have gone on. We're so glad to have you a part of this. Armed robbery, we'll talk about that next and go in with Ed. All that's on the way here at the Scotty Ray Report. Summertime has arrived, and Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 has the exact lawnmower for your need. If you've got a big yard with acres and acres to mow, they have a mower for that. No matter the size yard you have, Freeman Tractor has the lawnmower that fits you and your budget. From 48-inch all the way up to 60, or the X-Mark lawnmower. Plenty of these to choose from. Also, they carry a complete line of LS tractors. Come by for a test drive today. Financing available. Drop in today to Freeman Tractor, Highway 494, see coleslaw or buttermilk.
Just $41 a month for this new Brother embroidery machine. Buy it local and get instructions for life, service, financing, the lowest price guaranteed, and take it home today at the Sewing and Vacuum Center in Meridian and so Select in Flowood and Hattiesburg.
As the seasons change, so do your clothes, and Garrett Sports Center on 8th Street has exactly what you need. Haybo shirts, long and short sleeve, also Hulk shirts. And America's favorite brand, Carhartt. Whether you need work pants or slacks for church. And nothing lasts like a pair of Carhartt overalls. Maybe it's a set of boots that you need. From box to lacrosse, they have the boot for you. And as hunting season rolls in, they have all the camouflage you need and toboggans to boot. Garrett Sports Center, 3505 8th Street, Meridian. Have you been wanting your own building, your own shed? Speak to our friends at Best Sadia Building, 601-728-1954. Now, they can custom build you a home from a barn dominium. Maybe it's a shed that you're needing or a simple place to park your car, a garage, a camp house. Maybe you need a place to park your tractor, your motorcycle, or even that lawnmower. They can custom design whatever it is you need. Quality work, trustworthy, Best Sadia Buildings. Speak with Drew, 601-728-1954. Oh, we got Julia sending remarks to us there. She's saying I'm leaning too far back on my chair today and you're leaning too far forward. She's being a critic of the show.
This is the way I'm shaped. I'm not leaning. I'm front heavy.
Front heavy. We had a robbery in Meridian last night.
No.
An armed robbery on top of it. And I want y'all to watch this. This is of how things could have gone wrong. They didn't. No one was hurt in this. Highway 19 North, as we well know, this area of Meridian it's pretty dangerous from time to time if you go through there. We see a lot of crime in there. Let's pull this up and we take a look at this. All right, here's the bad guy right here. This is, he's going to be coming into the store and he's going here. Watch this as we hit play.
U-turn. Hurry up. U-turn. Hurry up.
There could have been an ugly word there. But as you heard him demanding the money, give it to me now. If you recognize that voice, if you recognize that build, whatever the case is, contact the Meridian Police Department. Whoever this is needs to be brought to justice. These guys work hard for what they do. And to have it taken away that way. He's being quiet over here. He's festering.
That galls me. That guy been sitting there 16, 18 hours waiting on the public, and then some jerk come in.
It's wrong. Yeah. Fortunately, and again, you saw the gun right in his face. A split second, anything could have went wrong. So this is on our page. If you'll go here, I've got it pinned to where you can see it here. Right there's where you can find it. Now, here's the live. It's at the top of the page there. Click on it, watch it, share it, so everybody will know who it is and what they're doing there. We'd like for them to be brought to justice. As we mentioned, a little bitty bike, a little bitty seat. This man is going to
and a long ways to go.
In a short time. Yeah. I wonder if he's got any
There's a country song there somewhere.
I just can see him on a bicycle with a Coors Light with Jackie Gleason behind him.
Hot pursuit.
Welcome. How are you doing this morning, Ed?
Nervous, but I'm doing okay.
When does the bike take off?
It's a week from today, June 11th.
Now, for those who weren't watching the last time you were here, what city will this kick off in and where will it end?
All right, so it's called the Race Across America, and it takes off on Oceanside, California, the pier, and it'll go all the way 3,071 miles all the way to Atlantic City, New Jersey on its pier.
Wow. Now, how much money are y'all expecting to raise for Hope Village? What do you think is going to come out of this?
We're hoping to raise, I told them that I want to raise $1 million, and we've discussed this. This won't come from Meridian solely. This will come from all over the world. This is an international race. In fact, most of the competitors, there's 49 soloists and a whole bunch of teams, but the soloists, there's only 10 of us that are American. All the rest are from other parts of the world, most of them being from Europe. And so this race will get all kinds of traction when we leave. RAM officials and RAM Media does a really good job at promoting each and every one of the cyclists' charity, if they have one, which just about all of us do.
I just as you were saying that, I was sitting here thinking 3,000 miles of bike. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, on a local level, how do people help you? What do we do to help you out?
Yeah, I'll let Kathy answer that one because she's got all that information right there about how you can sponsor, and do things. We got some really great ways of doing some fun ways to give.
Kathy, tell me, fill me in here.
Well, good morning. First of all, thank y'all for having us.
Yeah,
I haven't ever met y'all, so it's nice
Pleasure.
to be here. But I am here on behalf of Hope Village for Children. But also, I'm on Ed's crew, so we're really excited about this. This is going to be quite historic. But he came to us about a year and a half ago and said, I want to do a fundraiser for y'all. And we said, well, sure. I mean, we love when people want to try to raise money for us. And so it's going to be really exciting and historic. We've got a lot of good ways to pull in the public. People can give locally, and we're hoping that we get some traction as he starts to move across the country. But we're going to do some fun things like, pledge a certain amount of a dollar amount for a mile. He's going to be going over 3,000 miles. We're going to be going through a lot of landmarks. So we're going to put some landmarks up. And say, buy a landmark. He stops at 54 time stations throughout the route.
54?
Yeah, so we'll check him in.
I won't be stopping now.
Well, he won't be stopping.
They will check in.
We'll
I've
check
got to
in
keep
the
going.
time station that he arrives. We have to check in his time station. If we miss a time station, we'd be in big trouble. So, but people can buy a time station. They can sponsor a crew member. There's 10 of us that are going to be supporting Ed. So they can sponsor a river. We're going to go past several rivers. They can
Yeah, 4 of
sponsor
them.
a state.
4 great rivers.
A mountain pass. So all of that is going to come about. We'll be doing Facebook Live. We'll be doing Reels on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Actually, Magnolia Mouths Media, which is Anna Hover, she's going to be collaborating with us. As most nonprofits, we like to collaborate together.
Right.
And so we're happy to support her and her mission of reporting all things good Mississippi. And we're thankful that she's going to help us with this, because Hope Village is obviously, we're also a nonprofit, and we're in the business of taking care of children. That's our priority.
Right.
But we are very small administratively. So it's nice to collaborate with her and have her help us. She's actually going to travel with us. And we've got several of us on the crew that are going to be doing media. So I encourage everybody to go follow Hope Village's Facebook page. It's easy to give. We got a text to give card with
Right.
the QR code, or you can text to give. You can go to our website. It's a safe, secure giving platform, hopevillagems.org. And we also have a Facebook page, and we even have a Race for Hope 2024 page, which is tied to our Facebook page. So there's lots of ways to do it. And we are just so excited and blessed. We're grateful for the sponsorship that we've received. Ed kind of went out there and pounded the pavement, and he's raised a little over $35,000 just in sponsorship, and that will go toward crew expense.
Oh yeah, and it costs a lot more than you think to go across country
Oh, my
routine
gosh,
to make
yes.
sure you get there. But
Yes.
in hopes of making a lot more money
Absolutely.
for Hope Village.
Absolutely.
And let me just say, we're doing this on a shoestring budget. Like Ed said, this is an international race. There are pro riders that are in this, and they raise money too. Everybody rides on a charitable platform because of the immediate impact that Race Across America has. I mean, it reaches tons of countries worldwide. But, we were laughing about it. There's the Race Across America page. I encourage people to go find that too, because they'll be doing media. Yeah. And they've pulled Ed's story because they think it's pretty cool, because he's the first Mississippian to do this.
Look forward to it. We got more coming up with Ed, and we'll talk about what all's going on. Some more local events that are going on. Y'all hang with us. We'll tell you all about that. Wasn't it, what's his name? They got banned for baseball. They won't let him
Pete
in.
Rose?
Pete Rose.
They wouldn't let him into the Hall of Fame,
Fame.
or whatever.
Yeah, we got a deja
For
vu.
gambling.
This guy, and I can't pronounce his name. Tupaco? Is that his name there? He's a baseball player.
He's from south of here.
He's facing potential lifetime ban for betting on a game.
Whoa.
I say Pete Rose should be put back in. I think I've said that before, but the guy was incredibly good.
He sure was.
I think it was harmless what he did. Maybe he didn't know what he was doing that they found him to be guilty of. Just small faults. We'll get back to that. We got some more local headlines coming up next. We'll be right back.
Downtown Meridian is thriving with a fresh look, and now it's getting a new neighbor. Toyota of Meridian is now open under new hometown leadership. We're bringing automotive knowledge and experience home with a focus on improved customer satisfaction and all new pricing. Toyota of Meridian is excited to serve the Queen City and exceed your expectations.
I'm Trinard Rush, and I want to invite you to Toyota Meridian, where hometown pride drives excellence.
Bittersweet Crossroads in downtown Enterprise has new hours for summer, Monday through Friday, 8 until 5 p.m. and Saturday, 9 until 5 p.m. A great sandwich shop where they make their own honey mustard. Come try a sub or wrap today. They make some of the best homemade frozen custard with hot fudge drizzle. For specialty coffee, frozen custard, sandwiches, and ice cream, it's Bittersweet Crossroads, Highway 11 South, downtown Enterprise, 601-453-4009.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
Philadelphia Gun and Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the store and see their complete line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. And tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn. Greg, I got to be honest about something. You and I were down at Bittersweet the end of last week. We went to eat.
Yeah.
And she said she had some custard.
Oh,
Now,
man.
let me be honest about this. I've always had custard pie.
Right.
And when I went in and I discovered it was ice cream everybody was talking about, I was kind of thrown off. And I have to admit when I didn't know something.
Oh, yeah. I had no clue, but oh boy, do I now.
Boy, that was good food. If you get a chance, go down and visit them. It's an old gas station. It's just neat when you go inside.
Strawberry shortcake custard, man, it's fine. All kind of sandwiches, panini. I mean, and it's all fresh. It's right there in front of you. And load the kids up. I mean, it's like a trip back in history.
It is.
It's a neat place.
Go by and check it out. It's right there on the highway, downtown Enterprise. Bust up in there and say hello to them. You know, we see this all too often in America, and we saw it last night in Marion, and I'm not poking fun at a business. I don't want anybody to take this wrong, but how many times have we seen these signs, we're closed because we don't have anybody to work tonight? This was at the Dollar General, and in Marion, that's a big deal to not have the DG open. It's the mall, so to speak, kind of like Center Hills. But we get a lot of compliments on Center Hills, and your store there at Clarkdale is always neat.
Always busy.
I've been in some that's not quite that way. A program that's out there for the kids, and you and I have talked about this. Me and Greg's rode around and investigated this. Kids that sometimes the only meal that they get is at school. And, man, it almost brings a tear to your eye. And they're helping this summer. This is going to be the Lauderdale County school system doing this for the kids. If you're under the age of 18, no questions asked, Northeast Middle School Cafeteria, 7:15 to 8:45 is going to be breakfast, and they'll also provide lunch from 10:45 until 12:45. And this will go from June 3rd through the 28th. It's a good program. And again, as bad as we hate to say it, and you and I talked about that, there are people right under our noses that are in this situation that you don't realize.
We see it on the news and we think it's other places.
Right.
Not in my neighborhood, but it is, people. It's right here on us.
And anything that you can help these kids with through the years, do that. But the school is stepping up to help them out during the summer, so kind of important there. We had a fender bender. I got a call that said, "What's going on down around Massey again today?" It is like the hub of there's an accident as people try to get to the interstate and they bump each other. We had just that yesterday afternoon. Here's a scene of that. You know, I was there last week, almost same location where somebody rear-ended somebody. It's a common thing in that area there for little accidents to take place. Let's see here. Did I mention about yesterday morning? I didn't. But Bonita area.
Right.
Right over there by Sam's, Highway 19, that area there, a car was shot. We didn't bring that up, did we?
Nope. I don't think so.
A disagreement led to a gun being pulled and a car being shot, and, well, they got into it and fled the scene afterwards. And they'd be stopped over on Highway 39 over by the BMW Dairy Queen area. Now, one person was detained. We do know that, and it's being worked out from there. See, formal charges are going to take place, but it ain't normally a nice thing to just shoot up amongst a car. Not a good thing anyway. We did see that I got word there's a building going down I-20 and 10 flying everywhere. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, yesterday afternoon. The reason we know that it was 10 flying everywhere is the folks out at Southeast were missing their red light.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's just take a look here at what it looked like there. Here it is. Right there, missing it.
So the roof of the building got the red light.
Yes, sir, it did. That's how it looked there as we looked down through there. And that's a busy intersection.
Very busy, but at least school was not inside. That's a really busy intersection when school's going on.
Now, I don't know whether the person they didn't know they struck it, whatever the case was, but they Meridian Police Department stopped them on the side of the road on I-20 and said, your 10's coming off. You can't be doing that.
We want our red light back.
That happened on 8th Street 2 weekends ago at 45th. Somebody pulled out and took down a light there. I don't know what those little things cost, it can't be cheap though, can it?
No.
That's the way I look at that.
And they definitely have a hard time synchronizing them.
Now, this is as low as it gets. We can call this anything you want, but low of low is low when you go to messing with churches.
Yeah.
And we are here in the Meridian area at a very, very low. We've had windows busted out before, but we start with what I reported. It all happened the same night. The first that I reported was 46th Avenue and 3rd Street. Thankfully, no one was at church or they had already gotten out. However the case was, we had some people do a drive-by, hit the church. I would soon find out that later on, another church was vandalized, and I call this one vandalized, as this church had windows broken out of it. The Temple Beth Israel. It was not destroyed, but it had vandalism done to it, busted out windows. We cannot have people tearing up churches. 2 in one night. Were they connected? Most likely not. One, they had guns. The other, they just broke windows. But you know, it was 3 months ago where McDonald's sits in College Park. It's 49th Avenue that runs from 8th Street all the way down to Budweiser. There's probably 3 to 4 churches down that little path there.
Big church.
Yeah. And windows were busted out of those churches and broken into. We can't have this. And that suspect was caught that done it that first time.
Good.
And we hope that both of these instances here, someone will be caught and brought to justice. It's just wrong. It bothers me to no end. A church is just, it's the untouchable. It's holy ground, isn't it?
That's right. But you got a generation of, well, you hate to say it, if they've never been carried to church, they don't see the importance, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, they don't. And where does all this stem from? Goes back to one thing only: the lack of family in America.
Yep.
You got to have parents that teach you right from wrong, and then will make you. There have to be guidelines in life where you never know what they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If you don't know where the boundary is, you don't know where to stop.
Boy, my parents taught me boundaries, and most of us who are watching have had that. But another generation is moving in that doesn't know this. And boy, if we don't do something, they'll get elected to office one day, and where will we be?
Well, I think a few of them have.
Well, you know, I think you may be right, Greg. We're starting to see some of that nationwide. We'll be right back. We got more to come. We got to go back in history, check a few things. We're still going to talk to Ed and them. A lot happening this morning as we go along. Greg's in the house.
That's right. Hey, at least that girl ain't here to pick on me today.
Well, she's been sending texts. I don't know if you've seen all this. That girl.
Bless her heart.
Tired of buying cars with no warranty? Are you worried about your car breaking down? Come see us at Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, the only dealership in Meridian that gives you a 7-year unlimited mileage powertrain warranty on qualified new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Buy with confidence. We'll take care of you for 7 years, new and used, at Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Mow, dig, haul, trench. The reliable Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor is highly capable. A mission makes for easy operation and versatile attachments that help you handle the job. The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
J&J Tire and Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes, with the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems. Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian. Patrick Allen Companies has a wide selection of garage doors that will fit your style, add value to your home, and add curb appeal to your neighborhood. Patrick Allen also has top-of-the-line, energy-efficient replacement windows that will make your home look great while saving you money. We're family-owned and operated, and we take pride in our work. 5305 Highway 145 South in Meridian.
For all your garage doors and replacement windows, call Patrick Allen Companies. Safety, service, satisfaction.
Welcome back. Your friend Scotty Ray along with Greg, who's helping out this morning. You know, occasionally you think of, well, where'd that come from? I think today's, as we start and go back in history, look at this. The Phillips screwdriver.
It's the one you can't never find.
Yeah, it's in the toolbox somewhere, but you just can't put your hand on it. No. And occasionally you have to put it up there and you have to take the hammer and beat it into it to get it into it, to get it loose.
It can be used as a punch, yeah.
Do you know it was actually named after an old boy? I didn't know it. As we go back to look at this in history today, 1889, Henry Phillips was born, and he's the dude that put this torment on you.
Yeah.
He's it. But I like him better than the guy that come out with a star thing.
Hex head thing.
Yeah, those are awful. You can't never find that in your toolbox.
No.
And once they strip, it's gone.
It's like a 10-millimeter wrench. I mean, that's the first one you lose.
You can tear apart a car with a 10-millimeter. A complete car. Let's see, we will go to next to, it started out with Gunsmoke. Chester. Then he would make his way to New York City from New Mexico and, be McLeod. He was born today, 1924. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Dennis Weaver was born today. Y'all remember him?
He played in a lot of stuff.
He did. I always liked him. He's pretty good guy. What was the movie to where the 18-wheeler was following behind him and bumping his car? And they made a remake of it that was horrible. But he's going down the road. He's a salesman. Is that the one
they remade with Brandy Trap Black Dog or something? No, it ain't.
This one, he's going along, and it's an 18-wheeler chasing him. Doesn't know who it is, and it keeps hitting his car. It's got a name.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, you don't know it, huh?
No.
Okay.
No clue.
It was a big movie. It'll come to me in a little bit there. I just can't remember what it was. 1936. Anybody like Clint Eastwood movies?
Absolutely.
This guy would be in Gunsmoke. He was also in Support Your Local Sheriff with funny man there.
I have no clue.
James Garner, Support Your Local Sheriff.
Okay.
The Great Gatsby. And he was also in Hang 'em High with Clint Eastwood. And if you remember, Clint goes after the people that tried to do him up. And he catches two of them, and he's got to bring them back to justice across the desert.
Right.
And if it weren't for the young guy there, Clint wouldn't have made it. Well, the other guy, he's having a birthday today, Bruce McLeish. Remember him? He's the one that tried to take Clint out.
That was a foolish mistake.
It was. You don't mess with Clint Eastwood.
No.
Man, I certainly liked that. That was a lot of fun there. Liked that show. 1937, this guy was born. How did it start out, Greg?
Before the next teardrop falls or wasted days
and wasted nights.
Yes, sir.
Freddie Fender was born on this day back in 1937. He had a string of other hits, but those two songs are the big ones.
Yeah.
And, of course, it was bilingual. It was beautiful. We don't know what he said in that song.
He could speak more than one language, too.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
If he ever brings you
sorrow,
I'll be there before the next teardrop falls. I can't remember all the words, but boy, what a song. It was great. Go back and listen to that. That's some of that good stuff there that you don't miss out on. Anybody remember the Hardy Boys?
No.
You didn't watch that?
No.
Let's see. Did you watch Baywatch?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you might have seen it once or twice.
Yeah, down the beach here they come.
Yeah, further.
Did you watch Patrick Swayze in North and South?
Yeah, probably.
Well, it was a good show there. I liked it. It had Kirstie Alley, if I said her name correctly, and a whole bunch of cast. But this old boy, Parker Stevens, was in it, if you remember, from the Hardy Boys. And I had forgotten that he played as George Hazard's baby brother, Billy. As we go back to that, he's got a birthday today. Parker Stevens. Way cool there. That was such a great movie there. But Stevens, he was in so many other things that you don't realize. Go back and look at it. He was in Stroker Ace also.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was. He was born to race. He had a mean streak 10 foot wide.
Yeah, until they put him in that chicken suit.
Yeah. Had Jim Neighbors in it. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to earn your living,
That's
don't you?
right.
1975, this girl would be born. She has something to do with Billy Bob Thornton, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Angelina Jolie was born on this day back in 75. Some of you will appreciate her. Some of you will go, who?
Weird.
Yeah. It would end, and that voice that always came on and told a story about what was fixing to happen. It was this
Earl Hamner?
Yeah, it was. In the summer of 37, my family, it would start out. It had such a soothing voice. And all of this would end today in 1981. as the Waltons came to an end.
Still watch it. Got box sets of those. Absolutely, yeah. One of my
Spencer
favorites.
Mountain. Of course, they renamed it Walton's Mountain, and the whole thing based upon an actual family.
Yeah.
John Boy. Everything was good until he done what in the 70s?
I like Ike Godsey's store myself.
Yeah. Corbeth.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah. Can you imagine being married to Corbeth?
Ooh.
Mr. Godsey.
Hey, but her sister was cool now. I
Yeah.
remember when her sister come on the guest star. What John Boy do in the 70s?
You don't
What talking
remember
about?
that?
John Boy was Richard Thomas.
Yep. Yes, they call him the Street.
Oh, really?
You don't remember him being...
No.
He sure did it. Go back.
Boogie Dad, Boogie Dad?
He did it. He did it. He was caught. I don't know why he did it, but he did do it.
Really?
Yeah, and then what was the sisters? What was those two little old ladies that had the homemade recipe?
Oh, the Baldwin lady.
That's it. That's it.
Yes. Their father was Judge Baldwin.
And they were so prim and proper, and I think every neighborhood's got somebody like that lives pretty close to them there. Now,
oh man, that's
if Lionel Richie could have got a hold of this, and maybe Lionel Richie learned from him. As we go back to remember this old boy, 1982, this song would be released today. This Dream's on Me. As we go back to remember,
he is awesome. That's one of my top 5 all-time favorite country singers.
He's good, isn't he?
He's still performing, right?
Yeah, he sure is. When we were down to nothing, nothing sure looked good on you.
Yeah.
And Greg's always going around singing Love in a Hot Afternoon.
Yeah.
What was that? Wasn't his first one Paper Roses?
Paper Roses. Oh.
Savannah Slim.
Everything he does is great. He's just got that voice.
My Farewell Party.
Yeah, that's probably his biggest.
That's his biggest, without a doubt. Joe Nichols re-recorded that. He done a mean
Some
version.
things you just don't do.
Farewell Party.
Yeah.
Wow. I like Gene was one of my favorite. I didn't watch this. I know a lot of y'all love to pay to get scared.
No.
I ain't one of you.
I ain't either.
We ain't doing it all.
Change the channel. I'd rather watch a test of the emergency broadcast system.
1982. Anybody remember this movie? Yeah, it was released today. You give me the willies.
No.
I just think there's a line you shouldn't cross. That's just me. And you go to fooling with evil, evil comes home with you.
That's why they knocking windows out of churches and stuff.
Yeah, look at there. There's a reason for all
Nobody
this.
wanna watch all them boogers.
1988, this guy had the most number ones of any other country artist in the 80s. You've heard me talk about him before.
Earl Thomas Conley.
ETC, and today would be no different as it went number 1. What she is a woman in love. Boy, he was the Lionel of country during that time there.
He was almost borderline, in my opinion, not country.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? He was more of a balladeer, or kind of like Ray Price was years ago.
All those heavenly bodies come out at night.
Yeah. But I mean, he had a lot of hits.
And you get, I guess you could. I'm trying to sit here and think of the big one there. Is the third hardest thing I've ever had to do is leaving her,
holding her, and loving you. Yeah.
Probably the biggest Earl Thomas Conley song ever.
But his name was so confusing because you had John Conley, you had Earl Thomas Conley, and you had Con Honley.
You sure did, and it did make you go,
yeah. Which one of these folks is it?
Yeah, I always liked their "Once in a Blue Moon, I'll Do Something Right."
Oh yeah.
Whew. Earl Thomas there. As we go back, I didn't listen to this kind of music. I did hear it one time as I went out with a few friends from high school that, they crossed the line. They listened to stuff I didn't. It was big in their world, and I know a few of you liked it. Born in the USA is released. Mr. Liberal himself.
Can't say I ever bought that cassette.
Nope, I didn't either. I know a lot of you did, but it wasn't on my agenda. It was far, far away from what I did. 1990, it's hard to believe this even exists. I think it brings in a lot of convicts to Meridian nowadays. Drops off and goes off into the night. Greyhound filed for bankruptcy back in 1990.
Really?
Yep. People just don't use buses like they used to. You don't see them on the road like you once did.
Oh, you used to every Trailways, Greyhound, and they'd run too. You know what I mean? That used to be the thing. 18-wheeler drivers, if you could keep up with a Greyhound.
Yeah. Do we have Trailways or do we have Greyhound in Meridian?
I I think
Greyhound?
Trailways went kapoof.
It went away.
I think.
Greyhound survived.
Probably government subsidies or something.
It does give you a way to travel and get there if you don't have your own car. Kind of neat. In 1992, a little over 1 million people voted on this. Do you like the young one or do you like the old one? And America, by far, chose the young one, as we would get our first postage stamp in 92 of Elvis. How many of them you got?
I'm not a stamp collector.
Do you remember, which one was it, Richard Pryor, where he was trying, Brewster's Million?
Yeah.
Where he went in and bought the airplane stamp, $1 million, because he had to blow the money. Am I the only one who remembers these things?
Yeah. You watched a lot of TV.
Ah, boy. June of 96. Y'all remember this? This was a great song. George Strait, I Get Carried Away. It hit radio just for you.
I don't reckon he ever done anything bad.
I still go back to my favorite George. What's your favorite George?
Ooh, the Fireman, probably.
Fireman. I got to go with Amarillo by Morning, up from Santa Fe. All he's got left is what I got on. Woo!
What else? The chair. You know, they said that's what who the guy that threw the chair off in Nashville?
Oh, yeah.
Morgan
Wallen.
Yeah, that's what they said here at church, sang to him. Excuse me, but I think you got my
chair.
I'm sorry.
2011, this old boy, he's been to Meridian many a time. He's been to the Neshoba County Fair, and he would lose his home today. And 11, y'all remember when this happened? Trace Atkins' house burned. Was nothing left.
He country now. I like him.
He is. I know some people that grew up with Trace. You still have to look up to him. He's a big old boy. He'd been shot, didn't know he was shot. You remember that story?
No.
He was his first ex-wife. They were at the table arguing. She shot him, and he didn't even know that he was shot for the first few minutes. He was like,
they wasn't drinking, was they?
Well, there could have been something. You know how that works out. But he did. He got shot and he said he doesn't hold it against her. He said, at the time, I might have deserved it. I didn't like this. I'll just be honest with you. I didn't care for this at all. He's had some good stuff, a little mud on the tires. I'd like to check you for ticks, all about fishing. Loved all that. This just didn't do it for me. Old Alabama. Do y'all remember this by Brad Paisley?
No.
It just wasn't my thing. And Alabama did sing a note or two on it.
I don't have that 8-track.
I ain't accusing him of nothing, but he sometimes goes a little too far this way for me. I'm just, thinking out loud there. Brad Paisley there with what he's doing. 747. Greg's in the house, taking care of business here.
Beautiful morning.
Oh, it is. We'll be right back. More with Ed and them as they get ready for this big fundraiser out of Meridian, Mississippi. We got some more local headlines that are shaping, our area that you need to know about. We're going to discuss all of this as we get this. If
got a hole in the street.
Yeah, this is still happening. Let me show you this here. 18th Avenue, you're not going to get around this. And Greg, we're looking at 2 weeks of this.
Huh.
So if
a pretty good size hole, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could fit at least 2 full-size pickup trucks down in it.
Huh.
Pretty serious there.
Okay.
We'll be right back as we continue with more information here. Scotty Ray and Greg this morning.
We know you care. But if this is all too real for you and your loved ones, make the call. Because we care too. Home instead. To us, it's personal.
The selection is always changing at Massey Supermart Auto Sales with low-mileage cars and trucks. How about a 2022 Jeep Wrangler or a 2021 Honda Ridgeline Sport with only 40,000 miles? A GMC Denali or a 2024 Silverado 2500? Drop in today and find the car that you're looking for. They're packed with low-mileage cars and trucks.
The low-profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
For something as vital as your eyes, you should have your lenses and contacts made with the utmost care and precision. And that's what Grayson Optical does on 24th Avenue. Since 1996, Grayson Optical's mission has been to provide Meridian and surrounding areas with quality eye care products. That's why we're locally owned and operated. And don't forget, custom-made sunglasses like Costa for your eyes only. When you need to see clearly, Grayson Optical. 2021 24th Avenue, Meridian. 601-693-6374.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealer's are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealer's Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
I wanted to say a thank you to the Meridian Police Department. There's a lot of things they do sometimes that, well, not everybody you notice. Yesterday afternoon during the storms and the rain, the lights went out over by Sam's. Power. Boom.
That's a busy place.
It is. And as we look at this, Greg, there he is. You see him down here? Directing traffic, trying to help everybody out. And there's a closer look. And it was raining. They were doing the best they could with what was going on. The lights just went out, and they got maintenance over and got it fixed after he stood out there in the rain a good hour.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a bad spot.
It is. Now, Ed, as we go back to this big race that you're fixing to be in, and I call it a race, what do we expect? Tell me some more inside stuff that's going to be going on as you raise money for Hope Village.
Okay, well, Bob McNeese had a question earlier about the type of bikes I was going to use.
10 speed? Yeah.
Well,
we get.
Yeah. But they're all Bianchis. They're all Italian made, but I'll be bringing 3 bikes. One of them is going to be the one that I ride most of the time. But then I have a Bianchi 928 that's geometrically built for hill climbing. And I'm going to use that through the hills. There's 175,000 feet of climbing through the Sierra Nevada, the Colorado Rockies, and, of course, the Appalachian Mountains. So we'll switch bikes periodically. The seats I use are Infinity seats, but I also have the Physics seats, and I'll switch every couple of days. If I'm starting to get saddle soreness,
right,
I'll switch it, and the pressure points will be different, distributed differently. And we're hoping that'll work. But
we'll try to use just Chevrolet on our end to make sure the comfort's there with the seat cushions.
Preferably heated and cooled.
Yes.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, there's a lot of there's going to be a lot of there's been a lot of science that we've worked with. Nutrition is going to be a big thing. Like you asked, what goes into something like this. My crew is going to get me across the country. I'm just the monkey on a bike.
What is your ETA to?
12 days. So
3,000 miles.
Yeah, so it's about 280 miles a day.
You better get a rope like Ledbetter done.
We couldn't do that in a Datsun.
No, we couldn't.
12 days.
Yeah, that's why they call it the world's toughest race.
Now, have you done this before?
We did the bike around Mississippi for a practice run. I did 1,157 miles in 4 days, 3 hours and 16 minutes.
You down to the second there.
Yeah, we were
yeah.
We could have gotten faster, but I was getting off the bike a lot. That's one of the things that we learned from that ride. I was getting off the bike almost every hour or 2 hours, and what turned out to be a 5-minute little break. One of my crew members would take out a folding chair, and as soon as I stopped, he'd pull that folding chair off. They'd stop the bike for me. I'd sit in the chair, and what was 5 minutes turned into 10 and 15. And all of a sudden, that builds up. So this is not going to be like that. We've learned our lesson. We could have done it, and probably we figured out with all the wasted time, probably 3 days and about 21 hours. But we wasted that time. And, I mean, everything counts. You get off the bike to go to the restroom. You say, I got to go. Well, that's 10 minutes maybe. You say it's 5 or 3. It's not.
We'll give you a set of diapers if you want to wear those to save some time.
Depends on what all's in the newspaper.
That's right.
I mean,
so, wow, how much money have we raised so far, and how much is your goal?
Our goal is to raise $1 million, and we've raised a little over $35,000 in the past almost 5-6 months. A lot of that money is being spent on taking care of the crew to get over to California, and we're driving out the day after tomorrow, Thursday. We'll leave Thursday. We have 3 vehicles that'll be going across, because you need support vehicles. This is a crew supported race, so you can't do it on your own. You have to have a crew.
We highly
you.
suggest skipping 18th Avenue on the way out of town.
Yeah.
Just be on the safe side.
We will.
Now, again, tell us how to help out, how to donate if somebody wants to help this out. It goes to a good cause with Hope Village. What do we do and how do we go about it?
Go ahead, Kathy. I'll let you do that.
You just you can go to our Facebook page, or you can. There'll be a QR code there. We have a very secure platform for giving, and as I said, tell everybody, no amount is too big or too small. We're very grateful for support from our community. That's why Hope Village has been around for almost 25 years. We couldn't do it without the support from individuals and businesses in our community. And, Meridian and Lauderdale County is a very giving community, and we're so blessed by that, as well as all the other nonprofits in town trying to help those in need or those that, are less fortunate, like our children at Hope Village are. So, but you can text to give. You just text RACE 2024 to 243725, or there's QR codes on everything. I encourage people to watch this. This is going to be exciting. It's going to be historic, and it's going to be a great thing for our state.
Yeah,
So-
it's pretty cool. Nobody from Mississippi's ever done this, and so I kind of humbled by it because I never really think about any of that. But a lot of the stuff that goes into, people ask, why are you doing this? It's not about ego. It's a journey for me. I spent 26 years in the military, and I've got 3 different, combat, theaters of operation that I've been in, and when you get a little older, you start thinking about stuff that you did in the past, and so this kind of is therapeutic for me. That's why I do all the riding, and a race like this is more of a journey for me. And somebody said, "Wow, you're going to be the first Mississippian. We can make history here." And Mississippi's a great state, and I know a lot of people that I've contacted that's done Ram before. The first thing we talk about is, well, I'm heavy. I'm 228 pounds, and that's a lot of weight to get up 175,000 feet of climbing. You've seen riders. These guys all look like these pro riders. They're thin as a pencil, and
we just say hold on to somebody else's seat when they go by you. It'll make it a whole lot easier.
The thing is that these races that I've done in the past, your first reaction is, oh my God, look at this guy, and I finish.
That's what it's all about.
That's it. Right. And this race is no different. I mean, I'm nervous because I don't want to let anybody down. We've got so much invested. I've got 10 people that have volunteered. We're not paying. Most of these crews are paid for. I'm telling you, when we say 35 grand, we're the underdogs. We're going over with a couple of caravans. They're going over with RVs. They're going over with professional vehicles, sleeping vehicles. I'm sleeping in a tent and a cot, which I don't care. I mean, this is all about a journey that I took on 6 years ago, and it's nothing for these guys to $200,000, but when it all comes down to it, it's all about finishing. And so these guys coming out volunteering, I don't want to let them down either.
And what are the dates that it will kick off?
So we actually leave the state of Mississippi to travel out to California on the 6th of June. And then my race will start June 11th. And I'm sorry, you got 12 days. That's it. Once the clock starts, it doesn't matter what the weather is.
That's right.
I mean, it doesn't matter if there's, you can stop, but
well, everybody was wishing luck.
Yeah,
all gets underway. Thank
you
y'all for coming in and
Thank
talking
you for
with us.
having us,
Thanks
Scotty
so
Ray.
much.
We appreciate you. Follow Magnolia Mounts Media to see where we are. We want to check in with y'all on your show when he gets right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. More coming up with Scotty Ray and Greg as we get this Tuesday.
Tuesday, I think.
Yeah.
Or the second Monday of the week.
Call Trey Long with Long Cleaning Solutions. 601-934-9427. Step into the spotless world of Long Cleaning Solutions. Feel the power of our one-of-a-kind solution perfected by Trey Long. Don't delay. Get results today. Call Trey Long at Long Cleaning Solutions. 601-934-9427.
Health Now is your locally owned medical equipment store. Every person's need is a little different, and they offer a little bit of supplies. They even have walkers, bath products, and oxygen. And the great thing about Health Now is they offer same-day service. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and on call 24/7. Health Now Medical Equipment, where we treat our patients like family.
If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel. Welcome back. You ever look in your wallet as to what your driver's license looks like?
Yeah, usually they've been expired a year or so when I think about it.
I can't even tell you what the design is that's on it, but they're telling us that there's a new design coming out to the new driver's license for Mississippi. Had no clue.
Well, mine doesn't say minor on it anywhere.
Oh, it doesn't?
It doesn't say major either, so I don't know.
This is the sampling. It's got a guitar. It's got that state flag that most folks don't really know what it is, and something up here toward the top. Okay. I don't even know what the old one looked like. Let me see if I can find it of what's on it, Greg.
They probably expired.
You know, Dylan was going somewhere to fly, and we went back. I went to check in at the airport, and they wouldn't let me in one time because of that.
They were expired.
Yeah, because you don't use them that much. There's firearms.
Yeah, don't let that expire.
What's on that? Is that a capital in the background?
Oh, that's your bald head.
They won't let you wear a cowboy hat when you take these pictures. What's on that?
I gotta get my goggles on.
What's the background?
That is the capital. That's in
Jackson.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. Well, who would have?
You see them bullet holes?
Yeah, that's what that is. So much for what I knew. But be looking for that when you get a new driver's license. It will be something different on there. So, good luck to everybody there.
Yours doesn't say under 21, though.
It says way over, don't drive 55 or something like that. Other things that are happening this morning, I want to remind you, we had an accident at Lost Gap yesterday afternoon. As we take a look here, this was out at mile marker 126 there. A few folks went out to help out with that. Nothing too serious that went on with that.
Please slow down. With the weather coming in today,
yeah,
the potential for it. And put your phone down. Put your phone down and slow down.
That's without a doubt. We had a little fender bender yesterday at North Hills. Nothing serious there. And they moved right over to blocked the roadway for just a second. They moved over to the side there. We even had a truck jackknife yesterday. Really? There's nothing worse than a trailer coming into the side of your truck wet. And it's all going to move back into the forecast this afternoon. That rain comes in later.
Slow down. These big trucks cannot stop on a dime. I don't even know how to say it. Please slow down.
We got some training that happened a day or so ago that I had to go out and take a look at here as we look at this. And this is important. We bring this up all the time about training of when an accident happens. All of this here, at Jaws of Life, when they pull it out to go work on folks. They got to know how to use all this. If they had to land a helicopter at a scene to pick someone up. And believe it or not, that happens more time than you realize.
Absolutely. And we're blessed to have the helicopter services that we've got here in Meridian.
And of course, this, even this coming across there, they're loading a patient up, transporting them to an aircraft. This is them cutting into a car.
Right.
And sometimes every second counts.
Every second counts. And that's used more and more. And thankful for our legislature and some money that got approved and some equipment bought. We have more sets of jaws put in different volunteer fire departments, and for years it was all on the city. You called and bet, they had to come flying out 20 miles out in the country.
Yeah.
So we got some in place. Our hats off. These volunteers train hard, people. They work full-time jobs, and they train to be there when you need them. Support your local volunteer fire department.
As you think about it, you're out doing something, and then you get a call, you got to drop what you're doing and go do that. Bob said they need to name the I-59 curve. It's sort of nicknamed Dead Man's Curve already.
I don't get it. The split there?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm not one of those geometry people, but
Right.
is it off angle? Is it, what do they call it, caster and camber? Or
You hit it with any wet weather, and you are gone.
there's gonna be, you might as well, if I was in a record business, I would just send one out there when it started mist and rain, because it's kind of like fishing in a barrel. You're going to catch one.
Was it you that I asked this about those trees that are there?
Yeah.
Could we not cut that, or is it one of those things to where if it were to rain, it would wash the roadway,
It
undermine
would
it?
probably wash the roadway, but then that's a double-edged sword. People run off the road. If it's clear, they run all the way off on the other side and hit oncoming traffic. Well, then the state gets sued because they plant trees and people hit a tree in the median. Here's a thought. Keep it on the road, you won't hit nothing.
That's true.
But you know what I'm saying? Do you want to hit a tree, or do you want to run all the way through the median into oncoming traffic? So now they got to putting up cables.
How does that work? Is that being proven good? Or do you like me, you just don't know enough about it
I just
yet?
don't know enough about it to know. I do know that when I'm trying to get to a wreck to work on the other side of the interstate,
You can't get around
those darn cables are something else. But hey, if they work, I don't care. Whatever saves lives. That's my biggest thing. Whatever saves lives.
It is there. That's a bad one there. I'm not going to go into detail of this, but I'm just going to bring up the headline, and you take it for what it's worth when it comes to churches, because there's one of the big rule of always been, leave religion out of what you do. I, by all means, break that rule, because one thing, I will never deny God in anything that I do.
Amen.
If you deny God, it's going to be a bad ending for you one day. And what I mean by that is, well, somebody brings it up, you put your head down. Yeah. I didn't hear that. It's kind of like that rooster crowing thing by daylight. I'm not going to go into the detail of this, of the headline. I'll just read you what it says. We all know this is going on across America. Some of you agree with it. Some of it you don't. We had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I tried to listening to the reason, and I didn't quite understand it. If you change in any way God's word, you have changed God's word. It ain't good.
That's right.
At this point, over 1 million United Methodists have quit the church over the new rule that was enacted. I'll leave it at that. Investigate. Maybe you agree with it, maybe you don't. But 1 million people have left the church and started another church, or went to be at a church that's
Different
already
affiliation
established.
or
Correct.
something.
But that's going on across America there. You can't change what he set up in that book. Those things that are written in red, kind of important. Y'all remember that.
Amen.
We need to give away a mug this morning. We haven't done birthday. Who we got having birthdays, Greg?
We've got Ann Wright. We've got Mr. Sam Pruitt.
And that's the only two we got
That's
this
the
morning.
only two I got.
And we could have looked off and missed one, but if we did miss one, we'll add it to tomorrow's show. We're going to give away this.
Well, let me spin the little wheel here. Ann Wright is our winner today.
Well, congratulations, Miss Ann. I hope you enjoy yourself and have a big old birthday. Nothing like having birthdays, because they get faster every year.
Hey, yeah, man. I was thinking about Christmas. Do you know that it's already June?
6 months.
Exactly, and it seems like we just got through putting up the Christmas decorate. I always heard your parents always told you how when you get older, time goes by. It does, and like you're talking about birthdays. I mean, it just.
As you brought up, just put up Christmas Day, and I'd like to remind you, because I told my wife has this thing. She's an addict when it comes to Christmas decorations.
I agree.
I had a Christmas tree in here until 3 weeks ago. It still has not made it back to the shed. It's at my shop, the Christmas Day. Did you see that pile? Mm-hmm. It's in my way. And I walk by and say, when are we putting that up? I'm going to. My wife is, if there's anybody that's been that Christmas person, it's her. She loves that decorating thing. I wouldn't put up near as much as she does. But it's an addiction, I think.
Oh, no, I love it. Something about Christmas, usually, for the most part, there are exceptions. It brings out the best in people.
It does.
I told my daughter yesterday, I said, I remember Christmas in July. They'll be playing all the Hallmark movies next month.
But you going to watch those?
I might. Yeah, maybe a new one, where it don't snow, they don't kiss, and they don't move back to their hometown.
Well, they're stranded.
Yeah, it's always got a car broke down, can't get parts,
The train couldn't keep going. A tree fell on the tracks, and she had to spend the night.
Can't get out of town.
Did you see the one? And I'll just, because I've seen this on twice. I sat down to eat, and I never watched more than 10 minutes of one. But it had it on where her daddy gave her an angel, and the wing was broke, and he took it to have it repaired. She just happens to stop in this little town stranded, and the wing is there, and it's her true love that's got it.
Yeah. The other one, they're losing the Christmas tree farm, and the town turns out to save it at their Christmas pageant festival.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can't help it, though. Christmas just brings out the best in people. Love it.
It is a great time of year, and always remember that. What it's all about.
That's right.
At the end of the day, what that is about. We want to say thank you for joining us this morning. Greg, thanks for coming by.
Hey, I've had a blast again.
And you learned a little bit about bicycles.
That's right. 3,000 and something miles on a bicycle. Oof.
Have mercy, have mercy. We wish Ed, and we do hope they raise a lot of money to help out the kids here locally with the program there.
That's right. We want Odie and them to have safe travel, get back home safely. Barry White, I think he's traveling today. I don't think he carried Harold with him, but he may be riding Harold. I mean, a lot of times on a clear day,
break out that donkey.
He'll put his sombrero on and take off. But listening to Freddie Fender probably. Anyhow, I know everyone have a blessed day. God bless you. We love you.
See you tomorrow.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.